Happy to win the throw. Just signs that this game might burst into life, but with so many of these early J1 matches after their assumption, you feel an early goal is really key to open it up. Some of the second halves have really exploded into life. The game of the weekend between Sanfrecce and Cerezo Osaka certainly he's given it straight back to Sapporo, who try and deal with Fukumori now. Lucas Fernandez is in space. Lucas finds Komai, who wasn't well advised to leave that, but Tokyo's quick ball to try and fight Adelton comes to nothing. These frequent bursts of warm rounds of applause are helping. Oh, great layoff by Bothroyd. And Komai goes down. Good, intelligent play from Bothroyd. It was half a chance for Ishiaki Komai. And Lucas Fernandez, they're going to try and come again here. Fernandez squares it inside to a white shirt, not a red one. Adalton, Leandro, Oliveira. Well, Leandro, not for the first time tonight already. His close control has not been the best. And we talk about how FC Tokyo might cope in terms of squad depth with the departure of Hashimoto. As you get another chance to see that knockdown, and it was a very good challenge in the end, you have to say. Got some of the ball. Kind of challenge that might have been looked at by VAR if it was still in existence, but you've got to give some credit there under the circumstances to Takahagi. Did enough to put Komai off. You look at the bench depth for both these teams today, as taking some time to recover is Takahagi. With the exception of Kensuke Nagai and Moroshige, it's a rather inexperienced bench. I suppose you've got defensively, say, Mariah to call upon, but Nagai obviously be the obvious one if you were looking for a goal. If you're looking at Sapporo's bench, well, they've got plenty of backup in midfield. Kazuki Shirai started at the weekend, Douglas Oliveira too. You get the feeling the key to Sapporo's game is whether they can eke more than 45 minutes out of Chanatip, who rumour suggests is carrying a bit of an injury. No sign of it in the early stages here so far. Headed away by Watanabe. Jay Bothroyd, though, manages to win it back well. Bothroyd to Chanatip. Miyazawa out to this near side to Shindu. Lucas Fernandez, who's hugging that right touchline. We'll look to try and get this back, Fernandez. It's a big arse, though, and it's thumped away by the Lebanese, Joe Namari. It's Kamai who's looked lively. And then the weekend, can they repeat the trick here? Fukumori, I think it is over to take it. It will be Fukumori. Keep an eye out for Jay Bothroyd making a nuisance of himself here as he tries to twist and turn. Very nearly flicked on into the path of Boothroyd, and then the long-range effort from Yoshiaki Komai is closer for the corner flag than it was the goal. Percentage stats at the moment just in Sapporo's favour in terms of attempts on goal. 3 of them for Sapporo, all off target. 3 for FC Tokyo, 2 on target. Both from Adilton, and only one of those really was the kind of effort that looked like it might lead to something. Shindu has been dispossessed by Abe here. He gets back to Sageno after a decent intervention from Fukai. He's tried to release Suga into space, and Suga finds Chanatip. Now this is where Chanatip can be so dangerous. Chanatip moving one way then the other. Still Chanatip, they can't get near him at the moment. He'll go down, and I think the referee was spot on there. Chanatip was making a play for the Thai Olympic diving team there, and Kimura was having none of it. The official rightly waving play on. Up the other end, Adilton and Leandro trying to link up. Adilton inside to Leandro, who hadn't really continued his run. It's Tanaka. Oh, he's gifted that straight to Arta Silva. Very scrappy at the moment, but Chanatip tries to play in Boothroyd. And who's this throw going to go to? Boothroyd seems confident it'll go to Sapporo, and he's spot on. The man that's taken the captain's armband from the injured Higashi, conceding the throw. It's a cliche that's really applied to nearly every J1 game I've covered so far this season, post-COVID. Game really needs a goal before half-time. You fancy to liven things up in the second stanza. It's well kept in by Suga, but then gives away a free kick. Dropping really deep Arta Silva, who's seemingly being given the responsibility of trying to keep that engine room in midfield ticking over for FC Tokyo. Too early to really gauge how they're going to cope post Hashimoto, but when you lose a player of that quality, particularly when with the Asian Champions League on the horizon, you've got a busy season ahead, it's always going to be a battle to try and replace that kind of quality. Defended well by FC Tokyo. He's been involved a lot, Shuto Abe, since he's come on, and he's involved again here. Finds Leandro. Leandro's got runners ahead of him, but that pass not good enough to latch on to either Diego Oliveira or Ogawa, who steamed up from the back. Tokyo's AFC Champions League campaign before the COVID interruption started well enough, with a 1-1 draw in Korea against Ulsan and a 1-0 win against Perth Glory. Shanghai Shenhua, the team in that group who they were unable to play before COVID intervened. Takahagi, there's still something about FC Tokyo that suggests that they might be just the more likely, as Oliveira links up with Takahagi again. Here's Arthur Silva. Sapporo with plenty of numbers back behind the ball here. Leandro and Adilton, two up top trying to wait for some service. But Sapporo have got their marking on point at the moment. Gamba Osaka have taken the lead against Sanfrecce Hiroshima just before half-time. It's 1-0 there, still goalless between Shonan Bellmare and Kashima Antlers. Oita and Nagoya Grampus, 12 minutes in there, no goals. 12 minutes in, the Red Diamonds and Kashiwa Reysol, no goals. And 12 minutes in, Vagaita Sendai and Kawasaki Frontal, no goals. Marinos leading by a goal, 2-0 against Yokohama as that tame effort is deflected into the safe hands of Sagano. The only other goals in J1 so far tonight, two of them have come in the game between third from bottom, second Tasu, and bottom of the shop Shimizu S Pulse. It's 1-1 there. Running out of time to find a goal before the break here. It's fairly uninspiring stuff, and lots of evidence that the back-to-back nature of so many of the rounds in J1 this season is affecting the quality of this matchup. But it all can change in a split second, and we've certainly in some games seen second halves in J1 that haven't resembled the first half. So don't give up on this just yet. Too much quality on display with the likes of Bothroyd, Chanatip, not to mention Leandro Oliveira, Adilton and Silva for FC Tokyo. Sapporo, of course, still missing. Be remiss of me not to give a mention to Musashi Suzuki, who even now, having missed the last three games, is still joint top scorer in J1 with 4. And they had an explosive start to the season with 2 in the 2-1 win against Yokohama. A goal in the 4-2 defeat to Kashiwa. And a goal in the 2-0 win against Kashima Antlers. 4 goals in his first 3 goals of the season. It's a blow to Petrovic to not have him available, and clearly Jay Bothroyd having to run things to a certain extent on his own up front. Oh, that's going to be a free kick for the arm out. He wants a card as well, and he's going to get one. Oliveira wanted to see the card shown, and he gets his wish. Can't have too many complaints there, Fukai. So Fukai, the first player into the book. But they've already had a couple of set-piece situations in this kind of range and have made absolutely nothing happen with them. Leandro now charged with trying to produce a decent delivery to put that man, Takanori Sagano, under pressure. Leandro to deliver. Looks like he's going to wait for the penalty spot here. Leandro heads her up. Arthur Silva, more in hope than expectation, looking for a corner. It doesn't come. Chanatip. Signs that he's got the skills in the locker to give FC Tokyo some problems tonight. Remains to be seen though whether he appears for the second half. As we're told, he is carrying a knock. Shut it into Arthur Silva. And they'll play a long ball forward looking for a Dalton, but dealt with well by Shunto Tanaka. Chanatip. Arthur Silva's near him. Chanatip with a nice turn of pace, but Arthur Silva manages to get goal side of him and dispossesses him well enough. Nice play out from the back here from FC Tokyo. But that ball's asking surely too much of a Dalton. As Daikai Suga tracks back brilliantly. Fukamori. Both these teams cancelling each other out at the moment. Lucas Fernandez is going to be the target here on the right-hand side. Fernandez with very little space to work with. The skipper should have more. Miyazawa. Passing just not good enough or incisive enough from either side here, as Leandro does well and wins a free kick, and the captain could be following Fukai into the book here. Miyazawa. 2 yellow cards in 2 minutes for Sapporo, and that's 2 of the midfield men that are going to have to make the tough challenges against these Brazilian incursions who are into the book. It's a yellow card, isn't it? He's taking him with the trailing leg there. Can't have too many complaints. Space on this near side for Ogawa. But again, the pace of these games post-COVID, for the most part, is just nothing like what you see when these stadiums are full and buzzing. Difficult to put too much fault at the feet of the players. It's not their fault, the atmosphere is not there, and furthermore, they are obviously having to contend with a very busy fixture schedule. You can see Sapporo dominating the stats, but Tokyo in front on the shots on goal, and they still, for me, look the more likely to score, much as a goal hasn't appeared to be imminent for the majority of this first 45 minutes. Over the top looking for Chanatit, but the white shirt's back in plentiful numbers, and it looks like we are going to go to the break here goalless. Now, we've already seen Hasegawa forced into a change on the half-hour mark with skipper Keigo Higashi off injured, replaced by Shito Abe, but Milo Petrovic does love a half-time substitution with 5 available to him. And I wonder if we'll see Douglas Oliveira introduced at the break to try and spice things up in the final third for Sapporo. Good hustle from Diego Oliveira. But well won back by Shindo. Well, they're knocking it about, these two teams, like they just want to get in for half-time. It has not been a first 45 minutes blessed of much action. Any real talking point, the injury to the skipper, and a concern for Hasegawa with already their depleted midfield ranks after the departure of Hashimoto. Higashi off on the half-hour mark. But now, other than that, the only real tidbits from the game, the 2 yellow cards for Miyazawa and Fukai within 2 minutes of each other. It's going to put the midfield of Sapporo potentially under pressure in the second half. Fourth official will hopefully do us all a favour in a minute and only put up 1 or 2 minutes of time added on for stoppages, despite that injury to Higashi and the drinks break, because this has not been inspiring stuff, and neither team really showing any kind of energy. Mitigating circumstances are plenty, so I'm not throwing these sides under the bus, but it's not been the best. And the assistant referee adds insult to injury by putting the number 3 up. And that really sums up the first half, doesn't it? Half-decent run from Fukumori, but the delivery was never going to threaten Akihiro Hayashi's goal. So into the first of 3 minutes added on for stoppages. Goals in short supply across J1 so far tonight. Jiscambra Osaka leading Sanfrecce Hiroshima by a goal to 0 at half-time. Sagan Tosu and Shimizu S-Pulse 1-1 at the break, and also 1-0 to the Marinos against Yokohama in the Yokohama derby. That game is also at half-time. And the games that kicked off at 7:30 local time, no score between Vagaiti Sendai and Kawasaki Frontale. The Red Diamonds and Kashiwa Reysol and 0-0. Oita and Nagaya Grampus are also 0-0. As are Cerezo Osaka and Vissel Kobe. Well, in the first half of no goalmouth incident to talk of, other than a Dilton effort early on, can Consadole Sapporo take the lead on half-time? Need to get near the goal of Hayashi to try and make that happen. Shindo. Komai to Fernandez. Fernandez has looked bright the times he's been involved in the game. Komai beats his man, gets the cross in. Jay Bothroyd is there, backs in and leaves it. Chance for the strike from range. It's gone through, and we've got the goal. This game badly needed, and it's Daikai Suga right on half-time. All the credit in the world for that build-up to Lucas and Komai. I wouldn't say it's come from nothing, but Komai and Lucas Fernandez did really well. Jay Bothroyd backed into his man and left it, and he had all the time in the world from the edge of the area. Did Daikai Suga, and Sapporo have set up a fascinating second half now. You have to say the 2019 goalkeeper of the year, Akihiro Hayashi, might feel he would have done better with that. I don't know if he was unsighted. It was close enough to him, but he couldn't get down quick enough and could only deflect it into the goal. And a goal that looked highly unlikely has come 2 minutes into time added on at the end of the first half. At FC Tokyo, last year's runners-up and the team that started tonight in second place, are trailing Consadole Sapporo by 1-0. And credit as well to the crowd who managed to maintain their composure and only applaud. Now, is there another goal before half-time? Oh, very nearly, Leandro off the post. With Sagano beating all ends up. Well, business was picking up here, folks, as Hiroyuki Kimura blows for half-time, and every indication the second half will be much better than the first, largely thanks to that man. Daikai Suga, after a good build-up play down the right by Yoshiaki Komai, find a way past Akihiro Hayashi. Leandro smashes the left-hand post. Just after that, with the final play of the first half, that has seen Consadole Sapporo go in with a lead. It's Consadole Sapporo 1, FC Tokyo 0. And make sure you join us in plenty of time for the second half to see if last season's runners-up can get the 3 points they need to give them a chance to go top tonight. It's not looking good at half-time, with Sapporo leading 1-0.
2020明治安田生命 J1 リーグ第6節北海道コンサドーレ札幌対 FC 東京戦後半のキックオフは午後8時6分です。2020明治安田生命 J1 リーグ第6節北海道コンサドーレ札幌対 FC 東京戦ハーフタイムはハードロックプレゼンツコンサートによるパフォーマンスです。 結成です。後半はこの後午後8時11分にキックオフとなります。ただいまの得点、北海道コンサドーレ札幌、前半45分、背番号4、菅大輝の得点でした。
trigger. He's got his two blockers in the wall with Fukai and round. Doesn't look to be going for power either. Is he bluffing us? Will it be a shot or a delivery for Kamori? Well, he went for goal off target. Not sure whether it was by design, but it would have bounced if on target right in front of Hayashi, which is always a goalkeeper's nightmare. It started on target, just phased away. Not the worst idea in the world. 5 minutes in to this second half, and Sapporo have come out here. They're the team most likely to score the second goal. And you have to question whether they'd be any way back for Tokyo if they went 2-0 down with the way they're playing. As it stands, 3 points would be enough to take Sapporo up a spot into 6th. Defeat here would drop FC Tokyo down to 5 with the results elsewhere as they stand. Still plenty of football to be played in J1 tonight. Oh, that's a lovely play from Fernandez. Lucas Fernandez, man on the edge of the box. And the effort came in from Shindo, but it's deflected out for a corner. Marvellous build-up from Lucas Fernandez. And almost too casually, Ryosuke Shindo's effort is deflected out. Marvellous from Fernandez. No look, found the man in space. And that was a telling touch from Amari. Look at Fernandez. Nuts Tagawa. Pulled it back superbly. And we'll never know whether Hayashi had it covered. Fernandez, very involved at the start of this second stanza. The in-swinging corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red shirts in the area. Trying to get the better of an incredible 9 white shirts at the back. Skipper flicks it back. Keeper's going to come and miss this. Was always a danger. To the edge of the area. The shot comes in. This could go anywhere. Chanatip miscontrols it. But they've won it back again. Great hustle. Here's Shindo. You can hear a yell go up there. Not entirely fit for television broadcast, but I think that illustrates the frustrations of Jay Bothroyd, who was hoping to get that cross delivered onto his head. Sounded like an English accent to me. Bothroyd's doing a good job in the absence of Suzuki, playing that lone Faro up top. One trick too many, though, as FC Tokyo try and get things going at the other end. Oliveira shows good strength. And there was a tug on the shirt there. That'll be a free kick for the tug of the shirt on Arthur Silva. Nothing so far offensively from FC Tokyo in this second half. 7.5 in, but Sapporo will feel on balance. They probably should have doubled this lead already. Will they pay the price? We're right back down to walking pace again, as Arthur Silva has to go back before they can go forward. In space on this near side is Nakamura, but they shun him for now. Umari. Sapporo keeping their shape very well at the moment. Now it will come to Nakamura. He's been caught out of position, Oliveira, and he misses out as well. And now Jay Bothroyd dropping deep to get involved. Means they're going to need some support, and they found it with Shindo to Bothroyd. And he'll win the corner. Nice work that. Supported well by Fukumori. Back three of Sapporo did a great job at both ends of the field in the early part of this second half. Kashiwa Reysol have taken the lead at the Red Diamonds. They lead by a goal to 0. Marinos doubled the lead against Yokohama. They lead 2-0, last season's champions, getting back on track after some questionable results of late. And it's another corner. The set-piece opportunities mounting up for Sapporo. Can they make one of them count? Hayashi surveys his penalty area. They're going with the outswinger of Fukumori here. Fukamori, decent delivery. Headed away well by Adilton. Komai nearly got caught in two minds there. And that's belted right back into the hands of Hayashi. Adilton after Silva, looking for him. Lovely layoff by Adilton. They're still going here. Oliveira finds the support of Nakamura. And now it'll be a corner, the first one of the second half for last season's runners-up FC Tokyo. Trotting over to take it is Ryoya Agawa. They certainly got the better of the height battle, Sapporo, so far. Agawa's delivery is decent. Headed away by Boothroyd. They wanted a free kick there for the high foot that's ultimately sent Amari tumbling. But Lucas Fernandez does well. Oh, a lovely touch from Fernandez. He's left his man for dead. Fernandez looking for support and finds it and will win the free kick, and there'll be another yellow card here as well. It's Arthur Silva, I think, who's going to be the latest name into the book. That's 2 yellow cards apiece now. Lovely work from Lucas Fernandez. He might have been fortunate that he was fouled there, because I don't think Yoshiaki Kumai was going to make much of that pass from Fernandez, but he definitely caught him. And it was Leandro. I do apologise, Leandro in the book rather than Arthur Silva. But he doesn't look a happy camper, Kenta Hasegawa, and the mask has indeed slipped quite literally for him. No mask now, as he starts to start planning what his moves from the bench are going to be. He's already made one change, so he's got 2 substitution windows open to him, the maximum of 4 changes. And you have to think that Kensuke Nagai, a member of last season's Team of the Year, will be introduced sooner rather than later, and you have to think one of the Brazilians who as a foursome have been rather ineffective so far will make way. But will they be coming on to a team trailing by 1 or 2? Jay Boothroyd holds it up and it's belted away again. And the flag is up for a free kick to Sapporo. Miyazawa. Man over on that far side, and acres of space. Nice touch from Jay Boothroyd. Looks up, Chanatip's ahead of him. Jay Boothroyd finds Chanatip. Chanatip switches play. They've got plenty of space for Lucas Fernandez here. Can Lucas Fernandez find the ball? He very nearly found the off-rushing Jay Boothroyd. Hayashi did well, and now FC Tokyo, as they like to try and do, will launch a counter-attack, but can they make this one pay? Adelton. Oliveira. Not good enough, and Chanatip will pick up a cheap free kick, having been caught by Arthur Silva. Change has to come from FC Tokyo soon. It's just not happening for them in a game that's been quite short on quality. FC Tokyo, if they can start to click and show the form that drove them to second spot last year, get the feeling 3 points could still be up for grabs. They can't concede the next goal though, it's as simple as that. No free kick for the foul on Boothroyd, nothing doing. Amari gets them going. Adelton, and they'll win another corner. Improving slowly but surely, FC Tokyo. It's now 3-0 Marinos lead Yokohama. The 3 points are in the bag for the defending champions tonight. Tonight's league leaders at the start of play trail at half-time 2-0 at Vagaito Sendai. He, remember, threw away a 2-0 lead against the 10 men of Consadole Sapporo at the weekend. Sapporo themselves in the reverse setup here of trying to hang on to a lead as gearing up for the out-swinging corner is Agoya. Keep an eye on Amori, who's looking lively at these set pieces. Heads are up, Dalton can't get there. And it's been pickpocketed by Sapporo, and they're at the races on a counter with a 3-on-2 in the favour of the red and blue. They found Chanatip onside. Last gasp, sliding tackle does the job after Lucas Fernandez had found the tie man brilliantly. Another wild lunge in the middle of the park. And the referee's going to get the book out again here. And it's going to be a yellow card for Akito Fukumori. Yellow cards are starting to mount up as well. I hope we get a chance to see that break from Lucas Fernandez, who's been at the centre of everything good that Sapporo have done tonight. It was a real chance for Chanatip that to make it 2 goals in 2 games, following on from his goal to get them back into it, to make it 2-1 against Sendai. Oh, that's a lovely touch. But at the other end of the field, FC Tokyo just can't get the better of that rock-solid back 3 so far of Shindo, Miyazawa and Fukumori. As we get to the hour mark, which in traditional football parlance, if you're trailing by a 1-0, you'd fancy Hasegawa will be looking to make a change rather soon. They've surely got to introduce Kensuke Nagai. Sagano has rarely been troubled, save for that effort from Adelton early on, and the post that was rattled by Leandro immediately after Sapporo took the lead. That's all he's really had to worry about so far tonight. Chanatip. Ambitious crossfield pass by Takahagi. Finds its target, and then a rare blip from Lucas Fernandez, and an otherwise bright night for the Brazilian as he miscontrols. Shonan Belmere have taken the lead against Kashima Antlers, who have had a shocking start to the season but look to be on the way back up after a win against the Marinos at the weekend, but they've reverted to type. Form book has been thrown out the window in so many of the games since the resumption 3 weeks ago. Taking a tumble was Oliveira, and he'll win the free kick after the foul from Suga, whose goal is separating the sides. Takahagi gives Kazuki Fukai a ball in the backside. He's on a final warning. And still no sign of action from the bench by Hasegawa, but it has to come shortly, surely. Mindful, both coaches, that they've got games to come at the weekend. Marinos at the Dome for Sapporo, and the trip to Kashima Antlers for Tokyo. And it's far too early to start drawing conclusions, and it might seem like stating the bleeding obvious, but they don't look the same force in midfield without Kento Hashimoto. FC Rostov in Russia's gain is certainly FC Tokyo's loss here. Adelton, who's playing more of a wide left role in this second half. He's managed to get it to Leandro somehow. Leandro, one touch too many, and Sapporo can get it away. And Jay Bothroyd's picked it up, and look at Chanatip if he can find him. Jay Bothroyd finds Chanatip. Chanatip looking up for options. Chanatip, lovely ball through to the skipper to make it 2-0. Keeper comes, doesn't get there. The danger's still not cleared. Miyazawa, opportunity hasn't gone begging. It has for now. But they come again. Bothroyd and Chanatip linking up brilliantly there. No, he's lost out there, and Fukai has to be careful. He's on a yellow card, remember. Here's Adelton. Got a man in acres of space over on that left-hand side. Abe gets it inside to Nakamura. And that's really as close as they come to a goal in the second half, which 20 minutes in shows you that Hasegawa will surely introduce Kensuke Nagai shortly. Looks like the next change, though, is going to come from Sapporo. Tomoki Takamine, the 22-year-old, is set to be the next man introduced into the fray. Be the first change of the night for Sapporo. They need to make one of these chances count, though. They need a 2-goal lead here, you fancy. There's a pull of the shirt there. The referee plays on. Lucas Fernandez, another good cross. Came down to Jay Bothroyd. He's penalised for handball. Trouble for Jay Bothroyd. He's been the only Englishman on the pitch in a stadium where cheering's not allowed. You can hear his sound effects. No swearing, but a couple of blasphemous phrases from Bothroyd. Still waiting for that change to be made, incidentally. And I can't believe that Hasegawa is not going to make a change at the same time. .25 minutes to go. Sapporo leading by that first half injury time. Daiki Suga goal to 0. Good chase from Oliveira. Good hustle. They need to do more of that. They've not been putting Sapporo under enough pressure, really, for me, at the back. And Sapporo have managed to get it out for the most part quite cleanly. Not this time, though. Nakamura. He's showing promise down the right-hand side. Nakamura finds Adelton. Look how many red shirts are behind, though. Over the top, looking for Nakamura. Heads it down, and Adelton was never going to win that race. And now some scraps for Jay Bothroyd to try and feed off. As the Marinos now make it 4-0 against Yokohama. The first Yokohama derby in J1 is turning into something of an anticlimax. Arthur Silva, quiet game, certainly quiet second half for him so far. Oliveira misses out. He's been waiting for an age to come on, Tomoki Takamine. He's going to come on now, and you can see there Kensuke Nagai is also coming on for FC Tokyo, which is significant. In fact, it looks like they're making a 3-prong change here, and I'll be amazed if at least one, if not two, of the Brazilians make way. They've been, for the most part, for FC Tokyo, ineffective tonight. Still waiting for the break in play for the changes, though. Sapporo have just looked sharper than FC Tokyo to this point, and they've played it out from the back beautifully there. Down the left-hand side they head with the goal scorer, Suga. Oh, that was a loose pass, though, from Suga. And he's invited Adelton to come forward. Adelton, he's got a man in plenty of space in the middle. Shuto Abe. Abe back to Adelton. But the momentum from their latest attacking foray is gone, and once more a very basic pass goes astray. Allows Lucas Fernandez to play it out, and Yoshiaki Komai knew exactly what he was doing there to win that free kick. And now a whole raft of changes are about to come. So if you were playing bingo here, eyes down for a full house, because there's going to be lots of changes to get through here. Kazuki Fukai, who's on a yellow, is replaced by Takamine. Toyoichi Hara is coming on. Has to be one of the Brazilians. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Adelton that's making way. Well, Oliveira is the first one to bite the bullet. So Toyoichi Hara is on for Diego Oliveira, who's had a disappointing night. Their leading goal scorer. And I definitely saw two more players stripped off. Arthur Silva is replaced by Kazuya Kono. So Kono is on, and I can only imagine that Adelton is making way, as is confirmed, for Kensuke Nagai. So the 4-pronged Brazilian attack flair hasn't worked for FC Tokyo. Only Leandro of the Brazilian contingent now left on the park. A bold call from Kenta Hasegawa, but one I think had to be made to see if they can change the tide of this game. The fresh Japanese legs replacing what at times looked like tired Brazilian ones. And in a league dominated by Brazilian imports, wouldn't it be ironic if it was a Japanese triple substitution replacing 3 Brazilians that changed the tide of this game? Tokyo get a free kick there. Reminder, as things stand, it'll be Nagoya Grampus 8, top of J1 tonight, unless FC Tokyo can turn this round, and even more unlikely, unless Kashima Antlers, well, I should say, Kawasaki Frontale can turn it round at Vegeta Sendai, where they trail 2-0 at the break. Well, the substitutes have barely had a time to break sweat, and we've got one of those frustrating drinks breaks that clearly do nothing to help the intensity of these games. As we get another look at, there's the incident I was talking about with Jay Boothroyd and Nakamura. Well, regardless whether you thought that was a foul or not, there's certainly an argument that Akihiro Hayashi, the 2019 goalkeeper of the year, might have done more. Don't get a look at Boothroyd's tanglement with Nakamura from that angle, but it's a decent effort. Nothing away from Daiki Suga. Petrovic delighted, but Akihiro Hayashi, once you get something to it as a top-class keeper you really fancy, you should be trying to prevent the goal from being scored. Right after that, remember, Leandro smashed the right-hand post of Sugeno. Don't think we've had a chance to see the replay of that effort, but that's really, coming forward, all that FC Tokyo have had to offer, save for an Adilton chance early in the first half that came and went. It's been a very disappointing 71 minutes to this point for FC Tokyo. The only real positive for FC Tokyo is that Sapporo's bright start to the second half didn't result in them doubling their lead. Let's head it straight to Jay Boothroyd, who in turn finds Komai. He's penalised for a handball. I think he was entitled to suggest there was a high foot there from FC Tokyo, but decision goes against him. Well, trying to chase this down is Teyachihara. At least he forces the Sapporo man to get it clear. Here's Shuto Abe. The lone Brazilian remaining on the pitch for FC Tokyo, dropping deep Leandro. And it's a lovely ball from Leandro as well. That brought in Nakamura. But Sapporo get it clear. Nakamura gets it back. It's going to take a moment of magic for FC Tokyo to level up the way things are looking. Here's Kono. He's beaten to it. And you just get the feeling Sapporo are in control of this game, and that's another frustrated challenge from Yojiro Takahagi. Referee was right on the spot there. Thought initially, I think, about booking him. Wasn't too much in it. Sugeno sends it long, looking for the usually reliable head of Boothroyd. He misses out on that occasion. Shuto Abe wins the free kick. Chanatit penalised for the foul. That's a handball. It is. Desperately trying to make an impression is Kachihara. just 21 years of age, a product of the Tokyo youth setup, making his first appearance for FC Tokyo. Chance to make a name for himself very early on in his senior career. Jay Bothroyd is chasing this down. Amari gets there first. Short game of head tennis eventually helps FC Tokyo get it clear, and that's a good ball as well. And that's an even better effort, looking for the overlapping run of Kono, but marshalled out well by Sapporo. Well, FC Tokyo are going to need to utilise their squad this season with the Champions League still to come, so a chance to see what the likes of Kazuya Kono and Tachihara, as well as the first-half substitute Shute Abe, can bring to the table. He's made 4 changes now, one still available, so either Sei Moraya or Masato Moroshige are going to have the luxury of a full rest before the game. Oh, what a touch that was. Lovely work from Yoshaki Komai. Komai gets the cross into the middle, it misses out Chanatip and Jay Bothroyd, but it finds its way back to the goal scorer Suga. Giving away the free kick in their dangerous position is the Sapporo substitute, Tomoki Takamine. And he's gone into the referee's notebook for his troubles. Getting in a tangle with Kono. Now, I wonder if Leandro will fancy trying his luck from this far out. We saw Fukamori take a chance from range at the other end, and Leandro does look like he fancies this, and it's closer than the effort afforded Akito Fukamori. But there's 2 options over it, Leandro and Ogawa, the left foot and the right foot. But 24 metres out, I think Leandro is going to try and level FC Tokyo up here and give them an equaliser. On balance of play, they scarcely deserve. Takanori Sugeno lining up a 4-man wall with Jay Bothroyd, the biggest block in it. There were 3 spoilers from FC Tokyo loitering around the wall as well. Kensuke Nagai is there. Tsuyoshi Watanabe. And the man that won the free kick, Shuto Abe. Leandro looks to be going for placement rather than power. And from 24 metres out, the power's hand have to be good. The Hail Mary, I'm calling this. It's a routine that many J-League clubs are employing, the kneeling in front of the wall. Leandro beats the wall, but it's straight into the breadbasket of Takanori Sugeno, and Sapporo survive. Yes, this player's kneeling in front of the wall business. Not entirely sure it's exclusive to J1 football, but certainly not become a global phenomenon as yet. Good strength, good hustle on the ball from Fukamori. But you do get the feeling now that Sapporo are just trying to see this game out, and that can be a dangerous proposition, 1 up. Here's Kono. Kono. Cross is deflected, but it finds the man desperately trying to make an impression. And Teachihara at least does hustle to get a shot away. And he will win a corner. Or does he? 2 changes. Douglas comes on for Bothroyd. That's very much like for like, and Chanatip doesn't last a game again. He is replaced by Takuro Kaneko. Chanatip's put in a decent shift. Douglas Oliveira, jury very much out on him. He's certainly a big unit, but hasn't entirely convinced so far, and still awaits his first Sapporo goal. Now would be a great time to get it. A second goal for Sapporo now, and the 3 points are in the bag. Kashiwa Reysol have doubled the lead away at the Red Diamonds. They lead by 2-0. Grampus have doubled their lead at Oita, so Grampus looking very good to get top spot in J1 tonight. They lead Oita Trinita by 2-0. That game 8 minutes into the second half. We've got just over 10 left to play here. FC Tokyo have looked a bit more positive since the substitutions were made. Leandro, played in by Kono. That's floated into the area, and it drops for the snapshot to Kensuke Nagai, who couldn't get it on target. Sapporo a little bit casual in defence there. Tokyo still got one change that they can make. That they've only got, in terms of outfield players, 2 defenders left on the bench. Far too much time and space. Bearing in mind how much time and space he had, Nagai will be disappointed. Kensuke Nagai, one of 6 FC Tokyo players to make the 2019 team of the season. Well, Seimoroya is on for Nagai, so that should shore things up at the back for Tokyo to try and make sure they don't concede again. And it means that Masato Morishige will be the player that's got the luxury of a night off tonight ahead of the trip to Kashima Antlers on the weekend. Into the final 10 minutes we go. Kashiwa race only 3-0 at the Red Diamonds now. Oh, that's come out, and it's going to fall to Douglas! Great chance for his first Sapporo goal. I'm not sure Hayashi knew too much about it. It was straight at him either side, and that was game, set, match to Sapporo. But both substitutes linking up well there. Tomoki, Takamine and Douglas. But that second goal to put this game to bed still eludes them. And there's still a chance it will come back to haunt them, you fancy. Here's Moroya. Decent cross. He finds the debut boy, Tachihara. Well, if there's a second goal in this game, you get the feeling it's going to be Douglas celebrating his first Sapporo goal, or Tachihara celebrating his first senior FC Tokyo goal. But Douglas continues to knock on the door for his first goal in Sapporo colours after his signing in the close season. And he'll be kicking himself if they don't pick up maximum points, having missed that one. Oh, that's lazy from the skipper. Miyazawa's giving it away. And they're coming again here. They're just starting to build up ahead of steam, FC Tokyo. Takahagi. Here's Douglas. Oh, he's got himself in a tangle there. And he's beaten to it by Watanabe, who gets it back to Hayashi. All is not lost for the overnight leaders, Kawasaki Frontale. They've pulled one back in the second half against Vagaiti Sendai. They trail 2-1. Remember, Vagaiti Sendai threw away a 2-0 lead to Consadole Sapporo at the weekend. Sapporo becoming the only team this season to come from 2-0 down to get anything from a game. Can Frontale follow their example as FC Tokyo start to take over possession? But they still haven't really forced a world-class save out of Takanori Sugeno. Douglas. Not the quickest of turns, but it was effective. But Sapporo now almost look like they're intent on trying to play out the remaining 7 and a bit minutes. And just like that, Kawasaki Frontale have equalised, and there's still half an hour to play there. So the overnight league is Kawasaki Frontale. Trail Vagaiti Sendai 2-0 at the break, now 2-2 as Douglas is penalised here. With Grampus 8 leading Oita 2-0. If it stays like this, they still need to come back to win that game to attain league leadership. Oh, nice work at the back from Watanabe. I think I might have got my maths slightly wrong there. I think a draw as it stands is enough to keep them on top spot by virtue of goal difference. They're the only team with a double-digit positive goal difference this season, Kawasaki Frontale, plus 11 after the, what now would be 6 games. Well, he's played all his substitution cards as Kenta Hasegawa, and it's just not happening for them. The back three of Sapporo have been ultra reliable all night. Only game, incidentally, today that's goalless so far is the Cerezo Osaka Vissel Kobe clash. They've got half an hour to play there. That one remains goalless. Here, is it just going to be one goal that wins the day? That goal scored 2 minutes into injury time at the end of the first half by Daiki Suga. The difference between the teams to this point. Douglas did well. Finds Miyazawa. Oh, they've coughed it up again. They're swarming over them now, FC Tokyo, but can they create a chance? Not like that. And Sugeno is able to fashion a decent clearance. And they come away with it again. Good work. And they found a man in lots of space now, and that man is Fukumori. Fukumori going through the gears, gets it to Takamine. Oh, they're in for two. Game set match, Lucas Fernandez. Well saved by Akihiro Hayashi. That would have been the ball game, and the bonus for Hayashi as well is he deflected it back into the path of Lucas to give Tokyo the goal kick. All the best chances in this game have come to Sapporo. They really should have put this game to bed by now. Calm defending from Tanaka. Lucas Fernandez, man of the match for me. Fernandez today. Loses out though that time to Amari. But they've just not linked up midfield in attack anywhere nearly as good as you'd expect on last season's evidence. FC Tokyo looking shorn of class, and questions will immediately turn to whether they can cope with the departure of Kento Hashimoto to FC Rostov. Incredibly though, getting something in this game is still not beyond them. They only trail by a goal to nil. But Sapporo continues to look the more dangerous of the two coming forward. Lucas Fernandez is it a good night down the right, finds Miyazawa, and that's a good pass by Kamoki Takamine, who's impressed in midfield so far. Douglas continues to struggle to get on the same page as his teammates. FC Tokyo win the free kick in what, let's face it, has not been a vintage game of J1 football. Another victim to this stop-start culture, I fear, with the drinks break and the substitutions. Games really only being played in short, sharp bursts. And at the moment, it's the short, sharp burst right at the end of the first half that saw Yoshiaki Kamai Fernandez link up well. And Jay Bothroyd cause a nuisance in the area with the loose ball falling to Daiki Suga for the only goal of this game so far. They've not put it to bed just yet though, and that's a good ball through. He's onside, and they've leveled it up. Say Mariah is the defensive substitution that's got last year's runners-up back on level terms, and Consadole Sapporo have only got themselves to blame. They've had chances to put this game to bed. And Tokyo, for all they've lacked in quality in the last 30 minutes of this game, since the changes, they've certainly improved an effort. He's a mile onside. Caught out of position was Daiki Suga. And credit where it's due. Sai Mariah, a member of last season's J1 Team of the Year, flashes his finish past Sugeno, who could get a touch to it but couldn't keep it in. And now can Tokyo go on and claim an improbable 3 points? Well, it was always a threat, wasn't it? They've had the better of this contest in terms of the football that's been played, Sapporo. And it's not been pretty from Tokyo, but the triple substitution that shorn them of 3/4 of the Brazilian strike force has seen the effort levels certainly increase for FC Tokyo. And those effort levels, if not the quality levels, have gone up enough to earn them a late equaliser here. Say Moroya, well, he was so far in advance, it looked for all the world that he surely was offside. He was 2 yards on. It was just the fresh legs past the tiring Doki Suga and the marauding fullback. As for FC Tokyo, back in business here. And you'd have to think there'll be at least 4 minutes added on for stoppages. Is there time for either team to get a winner? Douglas's struggles continue. He had a chance, remember, a good chance to make it 2-0. Couldn't make with Kensuke Nagai. He's only played 3 of his allowed 5 substitutes as well, Petrovic. So if they fall at the last here and throw away a goal lead due to tired legs, questions will be asked of the coach as the cross comes in. But Gian Amari, who stayed up from the corner, is unable to get there. But what a turnaround. Kawasaki Frontale scratched what I said about them not being top of the table tonight. They've come from 2-0 down at half-time. They now lead Bogota Sendai by 3-2. Looking for the winner here, there's no question about that. The changes, the final 2 changes are coming for Sapporo, but is it going to be too little too late? FC Tokyo knocking on the door for a second. Sapporo not looking confident at the back at all. For 85 minutes they passed the ball out from the back brilliantly. But it's not happened for them in the final 10 minutes, and they're going to have a free kick right on the edge of the area now, and this is very much Leandro territory. Miyazawa's got to be careful, he's already on a yellow. Now will the changes be made before this free kick is taken? Lucas Fernandez asking for an explanation from Hiroyuki Kimura. Don't think he's going to get one. Let's see if there's anything in this. Well, he played the ball, but when you're on the ground and your studs are up like that, you're inviting trouble. And this is the best set-piece opportunity that's been awarded to either team so far. And it has Leandro written all over it. 3 goals for the season already. Are these substitutions being made prior to the free kick? Doesn't look like it. Well, if you're a forward trying to place a free kick in a perfect position, this would really be it if you're a right footer. And it's a golden opportunity. They trailed by a 0 for 89 minutes. A chance to win it for FC Tokyo. The Hail Mary routine with the 3 players kneeling down in front of the Sapporo wall. Leandro! Just wide of the post, not by much. And now the changes will be made. I think Sagano may have had it covered. Let's have a look at this. Was not far away, was it? Just didn't bend back, as I'm sure Leandro designed. Change is coming. The final two permitted for Sapporo. I think at this point, Petrovic just needs some fresh legs to try and see this game out. Nakano is on for Miyazawa, who looked out on his feet, and Shirai on for Zuga, whose goal for so long tonight looked like it would be one good enough to give Sapporo 3 points. Now, all it's doing is giving them a point. But what's this at the other end? Another chance for Douglas goes a-begging, and there's no whistle either. As Amari brings it away. Leandro trying to thread a ball through. Tired legs out there on both sides. Is he offside? He surely is. Not going to interfere with play. It gets through to Sagano. As we're now into time added on, time added on. We had that double change there. There should be at least another 35 to 45 seconds to play here. Is there one more chance in this game to steal 3 points for either Sapporo or FC Tokyo? A game that's disappointing for the most part is going to end with honours even. Well, on balance, Consadole Sapporo will be kicking themselves. They led after a disappointing first half through a goal scored in the 2nd minute of first half injury time. Great work from Shaki Kumai and Lucas Fernandez, who was bright all night for the home side. And Jay Bothro making a nuisance of himself in the box. The ball fell on the edge of the area to Daduki Suga, whose shot squeaked past Akihiro Hayashi. Into the second half, Sapporo had chances to double their lead. Chanatip went close. Lucas Fernandez had an opportunity. And Douglas, as soon as he came on, really should have made it 2-0, but they couldn't make the chances pay. And after Kenta Hasegawa decided to withdraw 3 Brazilians for 3 Japanese, the effort and the energy levels for FC Tokyo definitely rose, and they gained an equaliser that had been coming through Sei Moriah, one of those changes. There was a chance to win it at the death, but Leandro's free kick was wide of the post. So FC Tokyo come